Hi everybody! Happy Tuesday! Let's start our circle time off today with hello everybody. You ready to sing with me? Hello everybody and how do you do? How do you do? How do you do? Hello everybody and how do you do? How do you do? Come on everybody and whistle a tune. Try it. Whistle a tune. Whistle a tune. Come on everybody and whistle a tune. Whistle a tune. Come on everybody and snap your fingers, snap your fingers, snap your fingers. Come on everybody and snap your fingers, snap, snap your fingers. Come on everybody and cluck your tongue, cluck your tongue, cluck your tongue. Come on everybody and cluck your tongue, cluck, cluck your tongue. Can you think of another one? How about we do silly faces? Come on everybody and make a silly face, make a silly face, make a silly face. Come on everybody and make a silly face, make a silly face. Excellent, friends. All right, so I thought we would start today's circle time by doing something new. It's called a mixed up sentence. So here is what it looks like. I have put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words on this piece of paper, and they're all jumbled up. They're not in a line to make a nice sentence. If we were to read it, it would be dog big the ears has. Oh my goodness, that's not a sentence. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to figure out how to put these words in order to make a sentence that makes sense. So there's a couple things we can think about sentences, what we know about every sentence. A sentence has to start with a capital letter. So just take a look. Do you see one of those words that starts with a capital letter? And we also know that a sentence has to end with a punctuation mark. Usually it's a period. Sometimes it's a question mark and sometimes it's an exclamation mark, but it's usually a period. So that could give us a hint on the last word of the sentence. So why don't we start with the first word that we think the sentence has. And actually, I'm just going to review the words one more time with you. Dog, big, the, ears, has. So let's see if we can put them in an order that would make sense. So I'm going to lift my book like this. Hold it here. Do you see the word that starts with a capital letter? Because that's going to be the first word of our sentence. It's actually a popcorn word. So here it is right here, the. So we know that the first word in our sentence is the. Okay, and you know how in math, when we're trying to keep track of things we've already counted, we put a line through them? I'm going to put a line through the word the. I'm actually going to put an X, and that tells us that we have used the word the. All right, so we're left with dog, ears, big, and has. So I'm going to give you a hint. The next word in our sentence is called a noun. That's a word that is a person, a place, or a thing. There are 2 things out of those words that are left. Dog is a thing, because it's an animal, and ears are a thing. But ears has the period after it. So I wonder, would a period go in the middle of a sentence? No. So we know that dog must be the next word. So I'm going to make sure I put a finger space, and I'm going to write dog. And since I've used the word dog, I'm going to cross it out so we don't get tricked and use it again. All right, so we've got the dog. So now we have ears, big, and has. But we just talked about how we wouldn't put a period with ears in the middle of a sentence. So we know it cannot be that. So we're left with 2 words, big and has. So one strategy we can use to figure out what word comes next is we can say the words and see which one makes sense. So we know it's the dog. So I'm going to say, the dog big has, or the dog has big. Which one do you think would make sense? Does it make sense to say the dog big? No. Does it make sense to say the dog has? Yes. That's still the middle of a sentence. There's still more words to write, but it makes more sense. So the dog, finger space, has. Okay, I'm going to cross out has. We know that ears is going to be the last word because it's got the period. So that must mean that big is the next word. The dog has big, I put a finger space there. The dog has big ears. And then I'll make sure I put my period at the end. Let's read that sentence together now. You ready? The dog has big ears. And I have a picture to show you to match that sentence. Look at that, friends. What do you think? Do you think that dog has big ears? Yes. All right, good job unscrambling those tricky words. Proud of you. All right, we are going to continue doing our mythical creatures this week, and we are doing the dragon today. So I thought we would start with our dragon song from yesterday called I'm a Little Dragon. And remember, it was to the tune of I'm a Little Teapot. So it goes like this. I'm a little dragon, short and stout. Here is my tail, and here is my snout. If you get me upset, you better watch out. I'll give you something to shout about. And remember, we talked about how dragons breathe fire when they get upset. So we would not want to have fire breathed on us. And then I've got another one called 5 Baby Dragons. So we're going to put up 5 fingers, and each of them is going to represent a dragon. It's a bit of a silly poem. It goes like this. One little baby dragon is learning how to scare. He flaps his wings and then blows bubbles in the air. No, Mama says. Bubbles don't scare. Baby dragons are supposed to blow fire in the air. All right, so the first one blew bubbles. That's pretty funny. Let's see what the second dragon is going to blow. I wonder if it's going to be the fire. Let's see. One baby dragon learning how to scare. He flaps his wings and he blows kisses in the air. No, Mama says. Kisses don't scare. Baby dragons are supposed to blow fire in the air. So this one blew bubbles and this one blew fire. Okay, let's do, I've got a funny one for this guy. You ready? One baby dragon learning how to scare. He flaps his wings and blows pizza in the air. No, Mama says. Pizza doesn't scare. Baby dragons are supposed to blow fire in the air. All right, so we've had bubbles and kisses and pizza. All right, let's see what the fourth dragon is about to blow. One baby dragon learning how to scare. He flaps his wings and then blows rainbows in the air. No, Mama says. Rainbows don't scare. Baby dragons are supposed to blow fire in the air. All right, let's see what the last baby dragon blows. One baby dragon learning how to scare. He flaps his wings and blows fire in the air. Yes, Mama says, and she gives them each a kiss. Can you give them each a kiss? Mwah, 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 mwah. Baby dragons blow fire, just like this. And can you blow fire? Pretend you're blowing a big beam of fire. Like that. Good job, everyone. I thought today we could read one of my most favorite books. And friends, we haven't got to read this year because this is a song book. This is a book that I have done. Even when I taught the big grade 7s and 8s, we would do music lessons about this book because it is a wonderful song called Puff the Magic Dragon. So I'm going to sing it and you can watch the pictures during it. And the other week, a couple weeks ago, I read a book called The Marvelous Toy. And if you remember that book, there was a little boy who grew up. And in the story, when he was little, he got a toy. And then when he had his own child, he gave the marvelous toy to him. And the same sort of thing happens in this book. So Puff has a friend who's a boy who's named Jackie Paper. And in the story at the end, Jackie Paper grows up. But you'll see someone special at the end of the book, and we'll talk about it after we read it. Okay, so it's a songbook. SKs, you know this song because we sang it last year when you were in JK. So now that we can sing again, you can sing with me, and JKs, you can just enjoy it, okay, because this will be new for you, unless you sing it at home. Maybe some of you do. Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Little Jackie Paper loved that rascal Puff and brought him strings and sealing wax and other fancy stuff. Oh, Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Oh, Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Together they would travel on a boat with a billowed sail. Jackie kept a lookout perched on Puff's gigantic tail. Noble kings and princes would bow whenever they came. Pirate ships would lower their flags when Puff roared out his name. Oh, Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. A dragon lives forever, but not so for little girls and boys. Painted wings and giant's rings make way for other toys. One gray night it happened, Jackie Paper came no more, and Puff that mighty dragon, he ceased his fearless roar. His head was bent in sorrow, green scales fell like rain. Puff no longer went to play along the cherry lane. Without his lifelong friend, Puff could not be brave. So Puff the mighty dragon sadly slipped into his cave. Oh, Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Friends, look at the end of this book. So Jackie Paper grew up, and now his daughter has Puff in her imagination. And I love this story. All right. So now we have read Puff, one of my most favorite books, and I thought that maybe I could tell you a little story. So for this story, you actually can do it along with me if you want, or you can just watch me tell the story. It's a draw and tell story. So if you want to draw along with me, you can pause the video now and go and get like a pencil or something to draw with and a piece of paper, or you can just watch me and I will do the drawing, okay? So, and while I draw, I'm going to tell you a little story. So I'm going to grab my paper. Maybe I'll draw on the Puff book. I need to get my notes about the story because I'm going to read the story, but this story doesn't have a picture. I'm going to tell the story and make the picture while I tell it, okay? Okay. Sorry, friends, I've got so many things on my desk here. All right, so hopefully you can see. I think you can. There we go. Once upon a time, there was a princess who was thoroughly sick and tired of hearing the fearless knights who lived in her father's castle bragging about they had battled fierce dragons every day of the week. So I'm going to make her castle right here. Okay? So one day, Alexis, the princess, for that was her name, packed a bag and set off herself to do battle with the dragon. She walked for such a long time that she came to a deep, dark forest. So here she goes. She's going to start walking. Okay. And the paths wound this way and that, and soon Alexis was lost. So here she is. She's winding through all those paths. She wandered around and around. The sky filled with clouds, and it started to rain. There's the cloud. Alexis was getting soaked. Luckily, she happened upon a cave. The cave was dark, and it smelled damp and unpleasant, but it was better than the rain. So Alexis went into the cave. Here's the cave, friends. Stalactites hung from the ceiling. And stalactites are things that are in caves sometimes, and they're kind of pointy, and they stick down like that. Okay, do you see those? There we go. And then stones littered the floor of the cave. So I'm going to draw some stones here on the bottom of my cave. There we go. Okay. Alexis stood just inside and watched the rain. Suddenly, she heard a noise behind her. She let out a little yell, "Ah!" and spun around to see a big, friendly-looking critter smiling at her. "Wet enough to drown a whale," said the critter. When the rain stopped, Alexis and the critter, who was also lost, decided to travel on together. By and by, they came to a deep gorge. So they went walking like this, and they came to a deep gorge that was like this. They had to walk all the way down. And it had a river running at the bottom of the gorge. So let's make a little river here. "Now what?" said Alexis. "Now what is you climb up on my back," said the critter. Alexis did as she was told, and with one mighty leap, the critter and the princess were on the other side. So see, they're going to go up and then across. All right. They walked on for a while longer until they came to another deep gorge. So here they go. They're going to start walking, and then, oh no, they've got another deep gorge. And it had a river running along the bottom too. There's the river. See that river? This time, Alexis didn't say, now what? She just climbed up on the critter's back, and again, he leaped across with no effort at all. So friends, look what he's gonna do. They're climbing up, and then zoop, they leap all the way across. Right, I wonder what they're gonna do next on their adventure. Do you think we'll ever find our way home? Alexis said to the critter. They were walking by thick woods. Okay, so they're walking, and then they saw the deep woods. So woods are an area with trees. So I'm going to draw some trees over here. See those trees they see? Okay. Let's ask the woodcutter if he knows where your castle is, said the critter. So the princess and the critter approached the woodcutter, who was sitting under a tree eating a simple lunch of bread and cheese. I have heard of a castle, he said. A traveler told me once of a castle far across the mountains. And he pointed to the west, where Alexis could see high mountains standing against the sky. That might be my father's castle, Alexis said. The only way to find out, said the critter, is to go and try. So they thanked the woodcutter, and they started out in the direction of the mountains. Here they go. They walked for a long time and finally came to the foot of the first mountain. And then for many days, they climbed up one side and down the other. And up one side and down the other. And they kept going and going and going. One day, Alexis looked down and saw a valley far below. And the valley was a castle. We're home, she shouted. The princess and the critter ran down from the mountain. So let's go up and then we go down the mountain like that. Alexis burst excitedly into the room where the king and his knights were sitting around, telling their dragon stories. You're back, said one of the knights. Did you battle a dragon? Did you bring it back for us? He laughed, and all the other knights laughed. Ha, ha, ha. Alexis was too excited to care about their joke. I didn't see any dragons, she said, but I had a lot of good adventures, and I met a very neat critter. She went to the door and called in the critter. When the critter came into the room, all the knights and even the king started to shout, "A dragon! A dragon! Run for your lives!" And that is just what they did. They ran out the doors and out the windows, and they hid in the basement. What scared them, said Alexis. Do you know? And friends, look what we ended up drawing. We drew a dragon by telling that story. I have a few more of these draw and tell stories, so we can maybe do some for the rest of May and into June, because I think they're kind of fun to do. Good job if you did that along with me, and I hope you liked the story if you watched me do it. All right, everybody. So I want to tell you that Miss Hildebrandt has some activities on our D2L page for today. So after this video, you can head on over there, take a look at what Miss Hildebrandt has left for you, and it's time for us to do our goodbye song. Here we go. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Be sweet, parakeet. Give a hug, ladybug. See you soon, raccoon. Out the door, dinosaur. Take care, polar bear. Blow a kiss, goldfish. Bye, friends. Have a great day. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye.